taping, her show, my show, anybody else's show. This is a public forum. We go out over the public. So we are, in essence, public people who host TV shows. And what we say is a public issue and can be used anywhere. To hear Mrs. Potter talk on about she excused herself from the mayor's staff, excused herself, and made it known at every sit down, I think she said at every sit down, when she walked into the room, that the fact of the matter is that she disclosed that she was not representing the mayor's office, but representing her son and those connected with Fox Fest. First of all, and I'm coming down the pike just as straight and honest as I can for what I know or what I heard. First of all, to be a part of meetings that involves your son, and I say it so very respectfully, that has a situation, a deal, an agreement, a contract before the city of Wilmington, and to announce that you're representing him and his group, Foxtel. To make that disclosure still gives the appearance of, hear me folks, the appearance of a possible impropriety. Impropriety. Something that could be viewed and argued to be an unethical position. So I only throw that out because of some things that were said by Mrs. Velda Jones Potter. Simply because there is going to be a few days between now, the 22nd of September, and September 30th at the hearing that City Council is holding. And as City Council attempts to question, to get to the bottom of, or have a better understanding, I would caution from the mayor's office, anybody else involved or whatever, think before you share and say something out your mouth that could add fire to the confusion. I hear that some people I talk to, that folks really want to see this go away. It's not going to go away. This thing is going to be around for another couple weeks. Mark my word. That's how these things take shape, as a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger. You can't stop it. The News Journal is on it now and see it as their key lead story. And they're going to stay on it over the next couple weeks, you mark my word. And right on into the hearing. If somebody says boo-hoo different about this situation, from the mayor, Mrs. Potter, from council, they're going to grab it, they're going to check it a minute, allow for comment or rebuttal, whoever it involves, and they're going to print. That's the way the Journal works. That's the way it is. That's the way it is, folks. I don't sit here on anybody's side today. I don't sit here on anybody's side. I supported here, and many of you know, Mayor Dennis P. Williams. And I perhaps was one of his hardest, most public vocal supporters, even trying to highlight some of the things that could have been done by others who were seeking that office that I'm friendly with, highlighting some of the things that they could have done during their tenure in city government, to try to help you, the viewers, to understand that I felt, and I was appealing and begging of you to give Dennis P. Williams a chance to be the next mayor. And a lot of you did that. And I'm deeply indebted and forever thankful, and so is Dennis, that you did that. But the bottom line is being very honest about this situation and what's been going on over these last 8 months. The fact of the matter is I have been extremely concerned, many times frustrated, and frankly embarrassed over some of the things that have happened in the mayor's office under Dennis or on Dennis's watch. Now I'm coming straight down the pike with it. There are a lot of things I could say that I thought I was going to get into today that I'm not even going to touch that. I'm coming down the pike as fair as I know how. Dennis and I are friendly. The Potters and I are friendly. Dennis and I have done some political business. Dennis has been a supporter, helping in Joint Finance Committee, helping Kingcenter. We've done some political business, helping some of the candidates that we agreed upon. We've supported each other. We've been friendly. The Potters and I have been friendly. We are not best friends, nor have we ever been. We've never socialized or any of that. We've never been there. And that's okay. I don't choose to do that. I'm not hung up that I don't do that. I'll put it that way. With Dennis, since he's the mayor, I don't need to socialize. I want his ear. I worked like hell for him. I believed in him. I want his ear at times. I want to be able to talk with him and he share things or say something to me and make a commitment and he keep his word, not only to me, but to others of you out there in TV land as well. I think it's time that Dennis P. Williams, our mayor, take a look at himself. Back up. Take a look at himself. If Dennis continues on the way in which he's going, I see nothing but negative publicity, all kinds of problems that could have been prevented, as well as the negative publicity. It all could have been prevented and avoided had Dennis just thought a minute and functioned differently. Talk to some of his closest friends, myself, as a friend and as a campaign political ally and community leader. With me, talk with Ed Osborne and some of the other guys that are close to him in his cabinet that work very hard. They're going to give him an honest assessment of what's going on. Don't just fly off and make a decision. Don't just say something to somebody and then feel you got to stand by it or be made a liar because you back off of it. Dennis P. Williams needs to take a good look at himself, and I pray he will. I still support Dennis. I sit here supporting Dennis. God knows I want to see things happen differently, and I want to be helpful. I want to be helpful. And my wanting to be helpful is no different than my wanting to be helpful when I work like hell night and day for Dennis to become the mayor. When I had him here with me every chance I could get him here to talk to you, and I would purposely ask him questions to draw from him a different kind of compassion and understanding and a commitment for people and human beings. I wanted you to see another side of Dennis that you hadn't seen because he hadn't been on these TV shows or on my TV show regularly here over Live Lease Access. Dennis was very busy ripping and running up and down the state in many meetings, aside from the fact when the General Assembly shuts down from January to June and meeting after the sessions. They break for sessions. He goes into meetings. The rest of the legislators go home. Joint Finance people go to meeting, working on the budget. Early in the morning meetings, leaving here around 8:30 to be down there in Dover by around 9 or 9:30. Get a few things done before you go in the budget hearings that last all day long. Dennis P. Williams, as state representative, done a fantastic job. He helped a lot of agencies, programs, and thousands of people up and down this state by the services he supported and some things that he even fought with governors about, blocked the Joint Finance Committee, and got the votes to do contrary to make sure that the people got their fair share. Even at time of crisis in the state, Dennis was a fantastic legislator. 18 years to do that to you. He had the experience, knowledge, and know-how. He worked with others there, and he learned. He paid attention. He was a fantastic legislator. Dennis P. Williams, elected Mayor Williams, had to go in for on-the-job training. On-the-job training. Didn't know nothing about being a mayor. Neither did none of the others. The closest one to it was Bill Montgomery. And the way he called some shots and advised Mayor Baker, we might as well kept Mayor Baker there had he won. But anyway, I say because of going in green, trying to surround yourself with people that you feel would be loyal and cover your back, such as Veld and others. Trying to put those folks around you. And there are some others still there on the 9th floor. You put those folks around you for whatever the reason, whoever asked you, whatever the reason, you do that. And you feel you're building a good, solid, loyal team. Lo and behold, to realize no matter what their expertise or capabilities were, you begin to see, as the months roll on, shortcomings. The way in which they handle decision-making, judgment call. And you try to work with it for a little while. And then from there, you start feeling, I got to deal with it. I got to deal with it. I got to address this. You know, with the issue of Velda Jones Potter, and the manner in which it was done, was it the best of a decision? Well thought? Could something else have happened differently that may not have created all the confusion and fighting or what may happen now? I tend to think there are some other things that could have been looked at. I honestly do. But when things are all amok, when the newspaper is writing and cancel persons are attacking everybody, mainly Mike Brown, just raising hell. And Mike has a right to do that. And I support Mike in some of the stuff he said. I disagree with a lot of others in different articles. But the bottom line is, when all that chaos is going on, it's difficult if people are not talking to other folks who are saying, hey man, hey madam, hold tight on that. You may not want to do that. Won't you think about that? You may want to try to do such and such. At least think about it before you make a decision. If you're not getting that kind of input at time of outrage, being attacked, feel you being beat up on, whatever's going on, then it'll make you make a quick snap decision that in a lot of cases can come back to bite you. I quote my mother here on this show, Ethel Mae Johnson Holloway, my mother. I quote her a lot on this show when I talk about things like this because my mother had a saying that she would use a lot of times, and I say it to Velda, I say it to Dennis, I say it to all of those involved, Mike, Theo, and all of them. My mother says a lot of times when she hears this kind of dialogue, my mother says, you can be dead right, but dead. Dead right, but dead. What good did it do you? And I guess it's under dead right, but dead, what good did it do you? And where this can take us, if this continues to be a spillover to be a public bloodbath, as the citizens of Wilmington are sick and tired of it. Some mistakes were made, true. Who made them or whatever, were they malice? Done with malice? I don't believe so. I think folks were trying to help a situation. That's what I honestly believe. But the fact of the matter is, the horse done got out the barn. The News Journal is all over it and is not going to let it go. Mark my word, they're not going to let it go. This will drag on. They're looking for tidbits, even days that nobody's saying anything, to keep the fire hot. I'm telling you, that's the way they work. We can't blame Andrew Snobs or Adam Taylor or anybody else over there, the editors at the Journal. It's an issue that came to light, that was being talked about, that got leaked somehow to the Journal. They caught it, And they assigned Andy Snobbs a reporter to go see what's going on. The more they looked into, the more things were said by Mike, by counsel, or whatever, the more it looked like this is a hell of a story to report to the citizens of Wilmington, Newcastle County, state of Delaware, what's going on in the Wilmington politics. That's what it is. It's not going to stop. I don't see the council until they're pretty well satisfied trying to hear some of the things that they want to understand. I don't see them toning it down at all. Mike is city council, public safety chairman. Mike as chairman, aside from being the councilman, Mike is going to steady be looking around with his magnifying glass, trying to see what he can hear, hearing things, people calling him up, sharing things. That's the way this network works. That's the way it is. And again, as my mother said, I'll repeat, to be dead right but dead, what good does it do you? When we get into these squabbles, we cause people in our community to take sides. That's what we do, to take sides. Some agree with this one, some agree with that one. Some don't even care about agreement. Some are taking sides because of who they stand with and who they're with and dig their heels in. And they're ready to do what they can do to support that person. That's the way it is. I've been through this many a time, seen it in our community over the years. That's the way it is. So it's no turning down the temperature. The only ones can control that by way of the media or the council. The only ones that can control that are those that are directly involved, that are speaking, and that will be speaking starting next week. That's the mayor, that's the Potters, and any other staff member or one connected with the administration that chooses to try to share something that may get leaked and cause another uprising. Further, add fuel to the fire. Add fuel to the fire. So I ask that you pray. Pray with me. You join me in prayer. That we pray over all these folks involved. And that they step back and really take a look at where they are, who did what, whatever. If you did it, you did it. You didn't do it, you didn't do it. But the bottom line is, it's not going to go away. It's going to drag on till maybe a week or so after September 30th, you mark my word. After that council meeting, they may end up calling another one because of something said around that table. I'm telling you, that's the way this stuff goes. I pray that it doesn't get any more fuel to the fire. I pray that calmer, cooler minds will prevail. And I pray that we're going to work to get through this. I sit here angry and bitter in my gut over some things that's going on that right away I feel like raising hell about. But now is not the time. We must try to allow a healing and an understanding of folks backing up into their own godliness and rethinking anything that they may have on their minds. I'm talking about the Potters. I'm talking about Dennis, Mayor Dennis P. Williams. I'm talking about Dennis. Anything that they may have on their mind to do next, their next move. I say put the brakes on it, lay it aside. Don't even be thinking along those lines what you do next. To try to get ahead of the other person that said this or that. Lay it aside and take a good look at where it all is. Mistakes have been made, no doubt. No doubt. Mistakes have been made. But let's try to go forth and see how we can turn the corner on this as the news journal. And I ask you, get a news journal if you haven't seen one. Go to the store, these corners, they sell them on. Get your news journal paper. If you got one and haven't read it yet, check it out. The front page of the local, but more importantly, the editorial of the news journal. The editorial page, check it out. In my opinion, it's right on time. Right on time. And the fact of the matter is that Mrs. Velda Jones Potter is a very credible person. She's done a lot. Whether she made a mistake here or there, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, she's one that should be allowed to surface, to continue on and pursue her career with credibility and trust. And I believe that's there. I believe it's there. I don't know who disagrees with me out there, and I don't even care. She's a good and decent person. She served the city well. She served both the Jim Seals and the Dennis P. Williams administrations well. Whether some of the folks should have been put in place where they were, even Velda. Big question. Should that have happened the way it happened? Her son in the administration, whatever. Should it have happened? I have an opinion on it. I think not. I think not. There are other things she could have done. There are other things her son could have done. I think it's just too close with Charlie being Dennis's cousin and having Dennis's ear at times to suggest certain things. I just think that that wasn't the thing to do from where I sit, respectfully. But that's how I feel from day one when I heard about it. Let's go further to talk about others in the mayor's office. Miss Barnes. Miss Barnes, my observation of her in council meetings and other meetings in City Hall, I think she's a good and honest, decent person. I honestly do, from first judgment. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think so. Haven't been around her a whole lot. Miss Barnes is a good and honest, decent person. The gentleman that has been promoted after all that scandal and blow up when Dennis made the appointment to the Public Works Commissioner and had to remove him. The gentleman that's there now, and I may know him if I see him, I don't really know by name as I heard it. I don't know. But I name him, and I name Chief Dunning, our chief of the Wilmington Police Department. I give you those three names because Mike Brown had said that he felt in one of those news stories that they needed to go to, that they needed to be booted out or whatever. I totally disagree, Mike, totally disagree. People have superiors and people take orders. A lot of times you may not agree with the order or command that comes down, however it is, by email, verbal, however it is, text. You may not agree with it. But we can't expect everybody who has a livelihood working here or there. Mike, you didn't do that. You never done it. Theo Gregory never done it. Many, many others under the sound of my voice haven't done it. Not that there have been some things by supervisors or whoever that asked that you do something that you may have frowned on. You may not thought was the proper thing to do, but you got to think about it before you just walk off the job or say, no, I'm going to be disobedient and get fired for insubordination. So I ask you, Mike, to pull those names off the table. See what these folks have to say, whoever you're calling in your meetings, Chief Dunnings, Miss Barnes, or the gentleman in Commissioner of Public Works, and anybody else that you're thinking where heads should roll. I think it's wrong and irresponsible. These folks have superiors, have people over them. And however they may be involved or did whatever, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is it something that you should be on a witch hunt about because the administration is having confusion to try to now use this as an opportunity to pull out your axe or take them all to the guillotine and chop their heads off. They're good and decent people. Such be our Mayor, Dennis P. Williams. Good and decent people. On-the-job training, got him where he is with all this stuff, surrounded with people and others being shut out and not having input, myself as well. And not that I want to try to tell him how to be the mayor, I would never do that. But I'm a little closer to city government and been working closer with mayors. And I could share some things and help him to look at a little something differently and then go do what you're going to do if that's what you want to do. But at least take it into account because I'm going to try to show you where you can get yourself in trouble. Such be the case with that ongoing fight with City Council. 10 votes, only needed 7 to put the money back and pass it. Send it back to you, or send it up to you. You veto it, send it back. They got 10. They had 10 votes. They only needed 9 to override the veto. It gets vetoed down. They override it with the same 10. Then we go to court and all that. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. I'm saying to you, as I talk about this, the people for which I just talked about are not best friends of mine, but we're all good friends. We've been around a long time. We've been good associates and we've been friendly. I'm not taking anybody's side, even up and including Mayor Dennis P. Williams, of whom I work very hard for. The News Journal editorial concluded by saying, there is still time for the Williams administration to get its act together and for the council to get its act together, that they can go forward over the next 3 and some months, years, doing great things, working together for we the citizens of Wilmington. And that's my prayer. I agree with the News Journal editorial 100%. How much time I got left? Give me time, Alvin. Didn't mean to drag on that long on this, but all that I said I felt needed to be said, and hope that you understand. All roads lead to Ezon Fair, 1400 B Street, J. Caldwell and the Gospel Ambassadors. Anniversary, the first Sunday of November. Alvin, take me out with Osborne's Auto and the Billboard campaign, okay? I recorded this. It's on DVD to be on YouTube. Anybody got a question, I'll talk to you. But I'm coming from the heart, and I feel strongly about everything I said here today. God bless you. Okay. Take all that.
Osborne's Auto Repair, serving downtown Wilmington for 30 years. Delaware State certified in auto emissions. We do tune-ups, brakes, air conditioning, all car needs. Stop in and see Ed Osborne or his son, Ed Osborne Jr. That's Osborne's Auto Repair, 658-0377, or visit us on the web at osbornesauto.com. Stop in and see Osborne's.
Mother, there's too many of you cry.